Right. So, I was talking about old shops. Just there, the single-storey shop on the corner, you can just see that on the corner of Gladstone Road there. Lewis is the butcher's. When I was a kid, there's the butcher's shop just there. The two houses just here, there was a fish and chip shop just here, run by Mrs. Kislingberry. That was knocked down in the 80s, and that was replaced. The cottage over here, this is just my speculation. If you look at the stone on there, that stone hasn't weathered at all. I suspect the stone on these cottages here is Oxford hardstone. If you look at some of the other cottages, I live in Pitts Road at number 59. You can come round and look at my flaking stonework. That's probably the freestone. Well, it is the freestone because it's pretty rubbish. So that stone there is far more durable, far more hard wearing. The age of that house, I don't know. Could be one of the older houses in Quarry. The house that I live in, number 59 Pitts Road, that dates from about 1860. But certainly there are much older houses than that.
1860.
Yeah. Just looking around here, we won't walk there, but if you can just stand on tiptoes, you'll see there are some white cottages just set back on the road there. We won't be walking past them directly, but you might get a good glimpse just as we look up the road in there. You'll see just on the side of those houses, there are little lean-tos. Now, almost certainly those lean-tos were to accommodate some of the laundries in Quarry. And we'll talk about this later, but that was one of the big secondary incomes for people in Quarry in the 19th and 20th centuries, was washing. And the washing was taken in from the universities, brought up here in hand carts, washed, ironed and sent back down. Sheets, tablecloths, shirts, anything like that from the university. That was more or less a preserve what it was. It wasn't men's work, that was for the women. And certainly my dad used to tell me a story. He grew up in Quarry and he would tell me about going to school, walking past those cottages in the morning and seeing a woman called Mrs. Webb outside in a big, huge copper washing white sheets. And he said he used to go to school in the morning. He said he used to see her there washing these white sheets. And he'd come back in the evening, there she would be, still washing these white sheets and then wringing them out and putting them on clotheslines, because you probably know that in Quarry you have a reputation for big, long gardens. And that was one of the sites, was these big, long washing lines in the big gardens, full of these big billowing white sheets that were being washed and ironed and then taken back to university. That was something that was still going on in the 1950s. It was a big cottage industry in the 1950s, and as I say, if you look at those cottages, the little lean-tos on the side, they were more than likely wash houses that were being used for that purpose. So if we walk on a bit further, we'll do a right up Beaumont Road and then we'll stop just outside the Chequers and I'll do a bit more.